Hi everybody, Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home. And today I've got my harvest basket and my kitchen snippers, and we're going to see what's ready to be harvested. So I hope you join us. So we're going to take a walk around and look at all of the different fruit that's ripening right now, see if there's any more tomatoes. I'm going to pull a grow bag of the potatoes so I can use them to cook with tonight for dinner. Peppers and maybe carrots, maybe the eggplants. Let's take a look. I've got some nice looking peppers. I'm sure that they can get bigger. But the thing is that we had such excruciating heat for so long a period that a lot of these peppers stopped blooming. They stopped putting off flowers. They're just starting to put on some... Oh, hello, Monarch. Aren't you beautiful? Hello. You loving that zinnia? Anyway, to encourage some more flowers and more pepper production, I'm going to harvest some of these right now. This one, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but it's just starting to turn color. So I may leave that just so I can get a red pepper. But the rest of them I'm just going to pick green. Now, you can just pull it off. Usually they come right off. But I want to be a little bit more gentle with this plant. So some of these I'm going to just continue to let grow on the vine and get bigger, and hopefully some of them will get some color, but not bad. So I picked these throughout the week because, well, for a couple of reasons why I picked them not quite ripe yet. One is if they're kind of low to the ground, I worry that a squirrel or, you know, I in the past had groundhog problems, and so I wait for them to ripen on the vine, and then come to pick them, and there's a nice chunk eaten out of it. So I've been harvesting these early, and the other reason is because we were supposed to get finally rain after what seems like 2 months of almost nothing. So what happens when you get a deluge of rain, which by the way, we got like 1/10 of an inch that day. So it was like nothing. But anyway, what happens is if there is like a deluge of water, and this probably happened when I was watering, but they'll split like that. And sometimes they'll form like a healing skin over it where they've split, like this one did. You see? But sometimes they don't, and then they start to go bad inside. So I'm just going to cut that part away from this tomato. Just going to go check and see if these are ripe. Even if they're not, I probably will take them, since they're so low hanging. Oh yeah, that feels ripe. You can tell if they're ripe, even if they're like an unusual color like this one, if when you squeeze it, there's a little give to it. They're very unusual looking tomatoes. It's some sort of striped sauce tomato or paste tomato. We'll see. Against this wall here are my sauce tomatoes. So this San Marzano, I'm going to take this one. Looks like a ripe Cesar's something something sauce tomato. Got a little blossom end rot at the bottom. I will cut around that, but that I'm sure happened because of the unusually dry summer we've been having and my sporadic watering. I could pick these two. They're in various levels of ripening up. As you can see, they're still rather green. But as long as they've started blushing, that's what it's called when the tomatoes start changing their color, you can pick them and bring them inside and let them continue to ripen indoors. The thing is that the flavor's not always going to be that great. But say you're getting close to a frost and you really wanted to go ahead and harvest as many as you can, those would have no problem ripening inside. Ooh, we got some sun gold tomatoes. There's one very ripe back here. It's hiding. Yeah, these haven't been making it inside. They've been like great garden snacks. Oh, some more. These midnight snackers I'm enjoying them, but for a cherry tomato, they take quite a long time to ripen. They're very green at the bottom. When they're ripe, they turn red at the bottom. It's an unusual little tomato. I've got a butternut squash over here. Now, even though it's starting to take on its normal kind of a yellowish color, yellowish tan color, it's not quite white anymore. It's not ready to harvest because this is still green. And in order to have a butternut squash or a winter squash that's going to be ripe but also last quite well, that should be brown, the top stem. The Three Sisters garden, the corn is done. I did leave some ears on to completely dry, so hopefully I can get kind of like a corn grain and store it that way. Even though you can tell they're dying or they're dead. Supporting the beans quite nicely. And the beans had a very late start this summer. I got my first 3 beans just 2 days ago. And I, again, think it was the immense heat that we had that prevented them from blooming. But now there's a lot of flowers, so that's good news. Here are my slicing tomatoes, and I have picked some. They look pretty beat up. As soon as some of them ripen, I'm going to pull some of the plants that look the worst. I already actually did pull a couple of plants, but some of them are doing quite well, and they're continuing to grow and bloom. Here we have some eggplants growing. Now, I could harvest this and eat it if I wanted to eat tonight, you know, a little side dish or something, but I'm going to let it continue to get bigger. Not too much bigger, because then they get tough, but a little bit bigger. And then let's see if there are any carrots ready. Oop, there might be. It's a little difficult to see. Let's see if I can move this around. But carrots, oftentimes when they're ready, they kind of start peeking up out of the ground. And at this point, what you can do is kind of move your finger around to see just how wide that carrot is. So let's go ahead and pull our first carrot. Press down, give it a little jiggle. Oh, that's not a bad carrot. Oh, that's not a bad carrot. Yay. All right. Let's see if there's any other in here that look like, well, this one right next to it looks like it might be ready also. Nice. Nice. All right, a little smaller. We'll leave the rest in to just let them grow on. At the cucumbers, I see one that's nice and ready to be picked. I always like to have my gloves when I am either pruning or harvesting cucumbers because the leaves are spiky, the stems are spiky, and the cucumbers have those spikes. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. Well, this one could be bigger, but I'm going to take this too because I'd like to make a little jar of pickles. So I'm just going to show you how I harvest potatoes from my grow bags. A lot of people who grow their potatoes in either pots or grow bags like these, they dump out the soil. I don't do that. I literally just go in. Ooh, we got red ones here. And I just feel around inside the bag for them. And this does two things. One, it saves me from having to clean up the mess. But it also gives me a chance to really aerate the soil, because what I'm going to be doing in just a few weeks, maybe less, is I'm going to be planting my broccoli and cauliflower in here. So this is kind of fun. Just digging for potatoes. And loosening up the soil. Generally sit pretty close to the top. They don't really shoot down too far. And let's not forget Mancini the pepperoncini, who was my single seed 2022 challenge. And he's got lots of nice new growth. Actually have harvested him pretty hard twice already, and I've made lots of vinegar peppers. One of them back here is starting to turn color, and I'm excited because I want to be able to harvest some seeds from him. So he's doing well, although I'm not going to pick any peppers from him tonight because I've got plenty of processing to do, and I do want some of these to get a little bigger. And the paprika has finally started to turn color. So I'm going to leave this on, even though I would like it to flower more, just because I want it to turn that red color. There's something so satisfying in going out and picking your food, most of which I'll probably make for dinner tonight. Some I'll freeze, Some I will make salsa and sauces out of. Some I'll pickle. But it's very, very exciting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And I hope you share it. And I hope you subscribe so you can see some of the other wonderful things we're going to have coming up on this channel, Lady and I. And Lady, get out of the squash. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Anyway, from the Lady's Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye. Come here, Lady. Come say goodbye. Lady says goodbye.